Everybody, we're going to be looking at when we have a volume of a cone or a sphere, how could we find the height or the radius of that object? So here we have a cone that is 14 and 137 thousandths cubic inches in volume. It is 6 inches tall. We need to find the radius. Well, we know that the volume of a cone is equal to 1/3 pi r squared times height, where pi r squared is, of course, the area of the circle that forms the base of the cone. Height is, the height. And then we do 1/3 because the volume of a cone is 1/3 the volume of a cylinder with the same radius and height. So we're going to take this equation and we're just going to substitute in what we know. We know the volume is 14.137. 1/3 stays the same, pi stays the same. We don't know the radius, so we'll leave that there. And then we know it is 6 inches tall. So now we just start solving for r. Lucky us, these are all being multiplied, so we can just take our time, divide them all out. So let's go ahead and do dividing by 1/3 first, which really just means we're multiplying by 3, right? 1/3 times 3 is 1. So we get 42.412 equals pi r squared 6. Now we can undo this multiplication by dividing by pi. And that gets us 13 5/10 equals radius squared times 6. So now we divide by 6. And we get 2.25. Now that's equal to our radius squared, right? And we want to find out what just the radius is. So this was saying if I had a square that had an area of 2.25, what would its side length be? We find that by taking the square root of 2.25. And if you're doing that, you're going to want to go to the Desmos Scientific Calculator, and we can click this square root button. And here's our answer, 1.5. So we'll go back to our question. The radius is equal to 1.5. And what unit were we using? The volume was in cubic inches, so our radius is going to be in inches. All right, here we have this problem. The volume of this size 5 soccer ball is 5,575 and 28 hundredths cubic centimeters. What is the circumference? So this is actually a two-part problem. First, we know the volume. If we know the volume about a sphere, what can we find out about it? Well, pi is a given, 4/3 is given. We can find the radius. So we know that volume of a sphere is equal to 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. Let's sub in what we know. We know that this is the volume. And that is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. So these are all being multiplied, boop and boop. So we can divide both sides by 4/3. Gorgeous. And remember, we're using that Desmos Scientific Calculator to do our calculations. So that gets us 4,181 and 46 hundredths equals pi times r cubed. And now we need to divide by pi. And I'm going to use the pi button. That way I don't have any rounding errors. So let's go to our Desmos calculator and not use our crayon here. And we do divided by, and that makes it a fraction, and that's okay because a fraction bar is a what? Division symbol. So we're going to divide by pi. The pi button's right here. And that gets us 1,331.000, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Now, that's equal to r squared. I'm going to round it. I lost my page. Here we go. I'm sorry, not equal to r squared, equals to radius cubed. Because there were so many zeros, I'm pretty comfortable rounding that to the ones place. That's equal to r to the 3rd power. In other words, if I had a cube with a volume of 1,331 cubic units, what is the side length? And we will find that by taking not the square root, the cube root. Think back to our scientific notation, our exponents unit. We'll take our cube root of that. So we go back to our calculator and we want to find, let's see, clear all. If you click this button, it will allow you to type whatever root you want. We want the third root, so we type a 3 there, go here, and we know that r is equal to 11. So we go back here. R is equal to 11. Now that we know the radius, we can actually answer the question, which is what is the circumference? Well, the circumference is of a circle, right? And that's the distance around the outside edge. Circumference is equal to 2 times pi times r. We know our radius is 11. 2 times 11 is 22. So we could say our circumference is either 22 pi, or we could actually do that calculation and do 22 times the pi button, which gets us 69.115 blah, blah, blah forever and ever. Okay, cool. I hope that helps you see through some of the problem solving steps. If you need me, you know where to find me.